Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 15th of July. So what we got in store for today? well, let's look at the key news or possible impact that could be hitting us today. Okay, yeah, for the yen, it's been a bank holiday. For Japan, US, we've got Empire State Manufacturing Index later. They can give us a little bit of a bit of movement. Fed's chair speaking. They're due to speak at the Economic Club. Boy, that's a joyful one. Again, we might see something coming through from him, whether we see any changes in terms of what's to be said. We've got the Canadian inflation data coming out on Tuesday and retail sales tomorrow as well. In the US, that's not normally a major, but again, it can give blips. So a lot of this news this week is often blippy. Australian employment change, and then of course later in the week we've got the UK employment data there Thursday as well, but we've got the ECB meeting and press conference on Thursday. Friday, Canadian retail sales, UK retail sales. So we'll see how things are passing on through to the consumer. Okay, yeah, the markets themselves then. So we were seeing the euro pushing up pretty decently last week, heading back towards its yearly pivot here. Question, of course, is can it break through that sort of level? It was looking pretty healthily up until that point. With the Trump situation in the US, there's more that believe he will get voted in now. We had the little gap down there on the likes the euro, the pound, etc. There's a few gaps hanging around. You see now a bit questionable in terms of where this runs. For the gap, break of these near-term highs could be a bit of a play, but I would look beyond the gap if I was trading that towards its R1. It was in a decent trend last week, the euro, last few days there. The pound likewise, same picture. Is again really strong movement. It's taken out its prior highs here. So much for it collapsing this year. It's continued to go from strength to strength effectively against the US dollar at least, and the high lows coming through. In fact, I say the US dollar, it's not just the US dollar, it looks good against the euro as well, which is really what I'm looking at the moment. Yeah, again, this, I mean, it hasn't got so much of a gap there. It's got a little bit of a gap by looks of things, but I'd look to see what reaction it does off its pivot. To be fair, it's not my favourite sort of setup off here at the moment, purely because it's just looking ugly. If it touches that pivot, it's giving us a lower high, so it's okay. It's a little ABC maybe, but it might be worth waiting to see if it comes through to the 34 or even the 50 before we get opportunities on the longer side on this. US dollar yen, if we do get opportunities, that is, if it continues to roll, I'll leave it. US dollar yen still held on its daily 50 here. It does look like, well, it wouldn't take too much. It did actually break down last week the lows there at one stage, took out the previous lows fractionally, giving us a confirmed lower high. It's not majorly convincing, but it's around the lows there. We'll see how things develop today, but I'm starting to look at the yen and think, well, perhaps it's got something there. Not a lot, but something. Aussie dollar, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people thinking there's a long potential there on that yen. Aussie dollar, again, been pushing up here, same little gap that we've seen on the other markets. It's pulling back a little bit more here at the moment. A little bit of a gap again. Same sort of price action we've been seeing. I mean, it depends how much is given to Trump in terms of the Trump effect of the stronger dollar. We'll have to wait and see. We're a long way off that yet. Canadian dollar, I was waiting for a retrace last week, or was it a break? Anyway, oh, it's the yeah, it's the main new quarterly pivot. I was waiting for it to hit the bottom of it last week, which it never did. It started pushing up and then went completely choppy. It's pretty close to it now, so it'd be good to see if we get what sort of reaction we get to this. There's the quarterly pivot, and see if we get a reaction. It's already way up there though, and no real gaps here on the lower time frames. Looking pretty soft against the dollar at the moment. New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar, it's a mess. There is the gaps that are in there. I really don't like the look of this on a 4-hourly picture. I'm looking at it from a daily swing basis on the 4 hourlies. It's consolidating. You've got this consolidating wedge effectively. If I was to redraw this line across the lows here, there you go, and pop the other line in, which if I could, I need to do go trend line and pop the line in there. You can see the consolidating wedge, and the markets like this to me are best left. There's no clarity. It's a 50-50 the way it will break from it. Okay, market I did look at this morning was the euro pound, and I'm still wondering if this is going to work. It's been in this, I mean, it took out the lows last week there. It's been strengthening the pound against the euro losing its track here. It's got a little bounce this morning, but it's bounced into its daily pivot, and it is struggling a little bit around there. So I would look at this later, give it half hour or so, and see if it rolls over there. But I'm not expecting it to run into the S1 on one day, but it's in a decent downward trend. Whether it's finished, there may be a bit of divergence around these two lows here, this low and this low on the lower time frames, but in all other pictures, yeah, it ran into last week's S3, but near enough. But that's done and dusted now. The thing is, to this week's pivot's a bit higher, so if it doesn't gain some traction from where it is now, it becomes maybe some swing potential if it runs up further. So the possibilities there. Euro Aussie, okay, I'm running through these others now. I don't know why I'm running through this. This is choppy and horrible. It's Euro CAD I was looking at. It's been running up well with it weaker euro, weaker CAD even. This is pushing up quite decently, but again, it's getting into this sort of thing at the moment. It went last week, and it sort of, what was that, Thursday morning, it shifted off there and really did go through and ran on through Friday. But some of these currencies on the outskirts of Euro CAD, I really like it as a trading pair. It has got into a bit of a trend. Okay, it's only a 2-day trend at the moment, but the bigger picture is a bit helpful as well. We'll see how that runs. So in this part of the 2-day trend, but the overall bigger picture there is positive for it. So there you go, some markets to look at today, euro pound in particularly, keeping a close eye on that. We'll see if the gaps are closed on the likes of the euro, and see if the pound bounces. Right, let's quick look at gold, for those gold bugs out there. Yeah, this ran well this morning. It's off more. Sometimes when you see it, think of a safety currency or safety market, this is it, but it's not really a stronger dollar. It's just seeing it roll over. A weaker dollar might have seen it move further, but this is putting lower highs in. It looks soft at the moment. Might see a bit more of a continuation on that. Oil. So oil, it's iffy where it's sitting at the moment. Stronger dollar often brings the price relatively down, and it's a mess. But that was That was running from Friday. It's quite a mess here, oil, at the moment. It's broken. There was a trend across the lows leading into the end of last week. It is broken, and it's looking soft as I go printer here, but that could change. It's talking of changing. This is a market and a half, isn't it? Look at the state of that. So S&P's still hanging in there, still got potential highs, still got retail traders coming in like and there's no tomorrow shorting it, and yeah, it's still going up. So it's already on the run up at the moment. It has double topped. For this to be looking anything like bearish, it would need to be breaking these lows in between the two highs for me, but that would be a bit of a sign of softening. Nasdaq not quite as strong on the pullback here. It never pushed up on Friday the same, but all the same hanging in there. The Dow, of course, is pushed through, yes, on Friday. So on rubbish news, the other markets, the Dow seems to do a lot better. DAX, that's probably because the Dow's less inflicted by the large tech. Anyway, the DAX high lows coming through here, confirmed again, looking like it's got some potential to continue. All that weekly pivot could well be a draw to the downside. Okay, it's just coming off its daily at the moment on the lower time frames. Just see what happens here post 8 o'clock and see it turning round. It's just a minute past at the moment, but we could see this catch a bit more of a move, and maybe there's some opportunities to get in on an early push up there today. Finally, the FTSE. This is looking softer and uglier. Price is contained. It's in a range really, and again it's a bit of a wedge in the end of the range almost, possibly, but looking quite ugly at the moment, selling off quite strongly there. To open the market, we'll see what happens with that, but it's not looking so good. So on the equity market, maybe the DAX have some further upside, but it may be worth waiting for reactions this morning off of where it is at the moment. If it breaks this daily pivot, look out for the weekly for maybe a swing trade. If this holds up there, well, we could see a continuation. Right, I will leave you there. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.